Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everyone else. This might be the shortest temp I've ever done so far. Well, apart from a few extremely short ones, but for obvious reasons, I really want to address only one thing this time. I don't want to get into a chain of far too many thoughts because I know that many people do struggle with that, and I don't need this long venting. I need some on-point venting today. So it's less of a venting and more of letting you know something important I've realized about myself and my life. Why am I doing this? So I've had a conversation with someone right now, and it's something said there were mind-blowing. And so basically it was about basically the backstory is this. I was supposed to go to the dentist one day to my hometown, but I was too afraid of going there because it's the place where my parents lived, and they knew about when the appointment would happen and where, so they could have just enforced an interaction, and that's why I decided to just not do it. But then when I returned to the social facility where I was, I did something that I usually would never do, that I hate doing, that I hate other people doing as well. And it was lying out of fear, because I said that I was at the dentist because I was afraid that if I said that I cancel it, they would be displeased a lot, and thus I had done what I would usually never do, what for me is really unthinkable. And so that now, don't think I'm a bad person, please. Let me just go to the end. That person was very serious with me, but also wondered how it would be possible that someone like me would even be capable of lying just like that. It was a shock to them, and I explained that in my family, saying the truth used to be unsafe. And somehow this person immediately got it. And I also explained that I had struggled with communication. I struggled with trust in other people. I struggle with severely with also the fear of being hurt. I've talked about it before, and just in general, I felt super bad for it. And I mean, after I did that small emergency lie, let's just call it that, I was thinking all the time, why didn't you just tell as it was? And it's terrible, because I know I have this habit from my parents. My parents constantly lie to each other. My brothers lie to my parents all the time, and so did I. And now, even though I am no longer with my parents, I apparently still have that very same habit, because, of course I do. And the thing is, that person, it's a worker from the social facility, by the way. That worker explained to me that about their life, which was not easy either, and I was like worried I had a breakdown, and I felt like I had no heart. Like I felt like a total misery again, and it was the first time in all these months that an adult was able to relate to my problems and actually understand what I'm going through. And all because I communicated it clearly. Because apparently, yes, I struggle with communication. Yeah, I struggle with communication. I just need to be honest about stuff. And I need to be able to admit that I do things wrong. I need to be able to say sorry and just say things as they are when I mess up. I need to learn that. But there's just too much fear connected to it. Because I will assume that people will hate me for making mistakes. Which is obviously not true. We all make mistakes. And the thing is, I know all that cognitively, but emotionally I don't. My mind's always like a tug war. It's my conscious moves forward, my subconscious pulls me back. It's always like this. This is what it always feels like. This is what every single day of my life feels like. It feels like I'm not aligned with myself, really. Put simply. And so that worker then asked around, and I explained what happened with the family, and I explained as follows. I desperately need a social facility to maintain this for my parents to keep my sanity. I need psychological help so I can learn to deal with myself, with what I have become due to my parents and other people who hurt me. I need to be able to learn to forgive people, to say sorry, to just communicate my quirks, to explain, yeah, that's what I'm like. Here, that's me, take it or leave it. I need to learn that. I need to learn basic communication because apparently I don't have it. And you might wonder, well, I can like speak eloquently like on chats and stuff. Yeah, of course. But that's not the same as this interaction between humans, and these things that for other people would be more trivial, which are, for instance, saying sorry and saying when you messed up and explain why. Just saying it. And also standing by your decisions because my decision was valid. There was a good reason I didn't go to the dentist that day. It was that I didn't want to risk meeting my parents in my hometown. And in general, I'm avoiding my hometown wherever I can. Because I know they still live there. The four of my family, my parents and my brothers, I know that. Now, be wondering, how am I able to admit now that I lied to someone? By the way, it seems to me that I don't even understand how human trust works. I've never really thought about it before, but I have no sense for what trust is, what trust looks like, what it looks like for someone to trust me. Or maybe not to trust me, because that also happens, but I can't take it all personally. There's always this fear. And in secret, this need for control. Maybe it's really a need, the need to be trusted to a certain extent. Like, that would be the passive equivalent. Maybe. I don't even know. And it's the first time someone explained to me very clearly. Yeah, they didn't trust me at first anymore because, yeah, of course I lied. Of course not. But then I explained everything. I explained that lying was a bad habit of my family members and that I really didn't want to do it. And the person said to me, told me that it was great that I could talk about it and that I needed to talk in this way when the next meeting happened between the social facility here, the youth welfare place I'm that takes the youth welfare system that takes care of me right now, the one from my hometown. And yeah, in the meeting my parents would be there as well. And the thing is, in general, I also panic when I'm surrounded by many people, especially when they're adults, because whenever adults are involved, I feel like I'm looked at from above due to my parents. I also oftentimes have the feeling like when people are helping me, they're looking at me in pity. I've never in my life, until I received my the help with the social facility, I've never in my life prior to that ever had help without it involving pity. Never. Until now. It came pretty late, but at least it came now. But I now get just how biased my mind is, thinking that I would always end up in pity for asking for help. Of course, this is not true, but my mind thinks it is. In case you're wondering, aren't I just my mind? Congratulations, you're entering philosophy. I don't want that. Let's stay on the actual track. So, not that I didn't like philosophy. I do philosophy a lot, but it's out of the scope of this video now. But I cover it though, definitely. So, as I was saying, I according to the social worker there, was able to make them regain trust in me to a certain extent. But of course, trust is broken and it takes time to heal. And another problem of my mind is that it thinks that either things are solved immediately or they never will be, because this is what it used to be like in my parents' household. And I don't know why my mind thinks that everything has to be the way it used to be, because I'm in a completely new place. I know nothing. Really, I know nothing, and I need to be able to admit that. Very, very directly. I need to learn to admit that I don't really know anything about life. For real, I don't. I don't know anything about life because I was never taught that. That's the whole point that's one of the main points of the social hub that I deem to be needed. That I need help developing as an individual and not just as a part of a system that is my household, which honestly sometimes feels like a state more than a family. Maybe that's a good way to communicate it. What it felt like. Maybe it just so happens that the things I need to communicate about are just hard to put into words in general. That could be as well. And to be honest, I I always feel super bad when I mess up, even after people forgive me for it, even after they understand, even literal weeks or months or even years sometimes after it happened. It sticks with me like glue. And I don't know if this is even normal. Are people like that? Do people sense things like this? And if they don't, is that normal? Is that the normal, or and is there even a normal to this? I don't even know. As I said, I know nothing. I know nothing, for real. I'm not joking. I know nothing about humans or life or yeah, I don't really know anything at all. Because I was never taught anything. And as much as I must admit that I've observed some slightly like little positive things about my family members, for instance, my father losing weight, he's obese by the way, and the, the middle brother of the three of us keeping his hair long, having the guts to do that. By the way, that's something my mother hates because she thinks a real man should have short hair or something like that. I don't know. Um, yeah, my parents are just overly traditional. Even though there were these little things that became better, I sense that there is still just as bad as they used to be. That it will take a lot longer for them to realize that they were in the wrong than I've thought. And my brothers don't notice that something's off with the family. They think something's off with me instead. Which, yes, of course is true. But why? Because of my family. And my traumatic experiences as well outside of my family, which there were many of. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. So I will cut it right here and well, wait, actually there's one more thing. It turns out that I received some very important phrases from the social worker for me to think about. And one of them particularly hits the core. It's the direction of the mind is more important than its progress. I don't yet really know what it means because I need to feel it. I need to feel what it means because that's something I can only feel. And in all seriousness, I don't really know what how I can even continue really feeling at least alright and not in total misery after this revelation. I've explained about my reflection, everything as well, and they were very impressed. They told me that for being 17, I am extremely independent, but also I lack the ability to basic social skills. I lack social skills, apparently. I thought I was good with people simply because I'm able to help them. But that's not all there is to social skills. Social skills is also being able to clearly communicate. And with that being said, goodbye and see you in the next tamp.